Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back. Plant Abundance here. We got a special treat for you tonight. Alice is going to be going about a harvest in the food forest and then taking those ingredients and preparing a traditional Filipino dish known as Ginisang opo. So she's got her harvest basket and some hand pruners. And the first thing you're going to be harvesting is what, honey?
Opo, Ginisang opo.
So you're going to harvest the opo first?
Yes.
Okay. So the opo, as they call it in the Philippines, is the Calabash Gourd. And you can see we've got a nice vine. We've actually got several vines growing throughout the food forest design. This vine is all tangled all around this larger commercial style homemade tomato cage. And there's plenty of little opos growing all over this thing. And you can see some flowering as well.
Show it over here on this side.
Okay, yeah, there's some more over on this side. Well, hello there, May May. That's a nice one. Another one growing down here. But this one over here is pretty much, would you say, honey, the prime size?
Yeah, it's
for
ready.
Picking, for preparing in dishes, right?
Yeah, it's ready to harvest.
Yeah, so this is about, I'd say about 10 inches long and probably about 4 inches wide at the thickest point.
This is a perfect size, honey.
Very nice. That goes in the basket. And what's the next ingredient for this dish?
Yes, the kamote tops.
Alright, so kamote tops, which you've heard us reference many times on this channel, are sweet potato greens. So we actually planted these from slips or sweet potato greens that came in a bunch that we bought from the Asian market. That's how we've done it the past few years. And not only can you harvest the greens, but they grow sweet potatoes under the ground just as they would if you were to plant some seed potatoes. But the more that you cut these greens, the more that they continually branch out and spread. It really is an abundant crop. It's quite tasty. The green itself is a little mucilaginous, but we really enjoy it. And you can see Alice is going around pruning the tips off the plant. That's the main way that we like to harvest.
It's a lot.
So how much of those are you going to harvest for this dish? A good handful?
Yes. But you know, I am enjoying. My family already took last week.
Yeah, we had some of Alice's family visit us, and they harvested some of these greens as well to take home with them so that they could plant them in the ground. So it's really that easy. You just cut off a few tips and stick them into the soil, keep it moist, and they root in no time and start to spread.
It's nice to harvest, honey. It's a lot.
Yeah, they're growing abundantly at this time. Today's July 22nd. And we planted these, how long ago, honey? About a month and a half ago?
I think so.
Yeah. And we've been harvesting off them for the last about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So you can see she got a nice bunch there of the greens. But you mentioned also wanting to get some squash flowers to put in this dish tonight, right?
Yes, because I
Okay.
like it.
Yeah. So
If you don't put it, it's okay. But you know, I love flower squash.
yeah, and we've got plenty of them. All right, so now we're searching out some squash flowers. This over here is a zucchini plant. So if you didn't know, the flowers of squash plants are edible. You're just taking the one. She's going to spread out the harvest, it looks like.
Wherever I go, you follow me.
Well, I told you guys, May May likes to be involved in the garden and follow us around. Some more smaller flowers. Now, what kind of flavor does this add? Does it add much flavor to the soup, or is it more just like color and
No,
variety?
add the flavor.
Quite a few pumpkins growing over here. You can also harvest the flowers off the pumpkin. And again, I'll just say that the squash flower is not part of the traditional recipe, but you can always get creative with any recipe and make it your own, and that's what Alice is doing tonight.
This is enough for 3 people.
All right, looking good so far. So next, what do we need to harvest?
Onion.
Onion. Okay, let's go find some onions. That's an easy one. Another crop growing throughout the food forest. You knew right where to go, huh?
Yeah, because I planted.
Oh, Alice planted these.
You put it only one.
Yep.
And the other one is for tomorrow. I love it. Smell good.
Nice small little yellow onion. You just need one, or?
Just one.
Okay.
Then tomorrow again. So every time we cook it fresh.
Sounds good. Are you going to use the greens too, or just the bulb?
I don't know.
You can see the kumquat tree here is beginning to flower. So is that all the ingredients from the garden? What else are we going to be adding to this?
Sardines. I
So
bought it in the Asian market.
yeah, so a can of sardines. It comes in like a tomato sauce.
Philippine sardines. 555. This one is perfect. You know, you have to include this.
The immature seeds.
Yeah. Very soft.
So as you can see, she's removing the outer skin. These Calabash gourds come in all different shapes and sizes. Some of them are shaped like a oversized pear, and those are known as the Birdhouse Gourds. Some of them are very long and almost snake-like, and there's, you know, different types called snake gourds, but all the same thing, all used in the same way. So now she's just chopping them up into bite-sized pieces. We grew these oppo from seeds that we saved from previous harvest, and the first seeds that we had gotten were from a family friend, and we had started a couple plants, and it's grown from there.
This is the one that I grew.
Yep. Fresh is best.
I like the smell. It's like very strong.
Just chopping up the onion, not dicing it too small. So next we're going to prepare some garlic. This is some garlic that we grew here in the garden and harvested a short time ago. So it looks
Big
like
cloves.
she's going to use 4 large cloves of garlic. And this recipe, by the way, is meant to feed 3. So you can size down or size up if you're following along, depending on how many people you'll be preparing food for.
The one I have to do, is I have to chop.
She's just using a kitchen mallet to basically smash the garlic open so that it will release the flavors into the dish. And finally, in preparation, Alice is just chopping up the greens of the onion, which once again will be used as a garnish at the end of the dish. So the onion greens and the squash flowers are an additional twist that Alice is putting onto this dish. Alright, so here are all the ingredients prepared and ready to go to make up this dish. Once again, we got the camote tops, or the sweet potato greens. We've got some squash flowers. We've also got some scallion, or green onion, which we're going to use as a garnish. There is some regular onion, yellow onion there, and we've got some smashed garlic, 4 cloves, and also the oppo, or the Calabash gourd, cut up into bite-sized pieces. We're also going to be using a bit of this avocado oil, a little bit of Himalayan salt, and a can of sardines. And this 555 brand is the only one that really works for this dish, in Alice's opinion. These can be purchased at the Asian market for 50 cents a can, and it comes in a tomato sauce. So she's going to be dumping this whole thing into this dish, which is going to give it most of its flavor. Is that right, honey?
Yeah, but some of it, people, they want grind meat, you know, but I don't like it.
Like a ground beef?
Ground beef.
This is kind of a healthier version.
Yeah, ground pork, something like that.
Mhm.
But I love to put this than the meat.
And one thing I wanted to add is that if you are going to consume fish, one of our favorite ways to do it is by eating sardines. The smaller the fish, the less toxins that are accumulated within the fish, and sardines are very small. And there's many brands out there that are sustainably harvested as well. So I just want to throw that out there for you guys. All right, so this is how Alice is going to be cooking up tonight's dinner. This is a rocket stove, and I actually purchased this on Amazon a few years back. This has been a wonderful tool to have. You can use a variety of different pots and pans to cook. Much larger than this. It boils several gallons of water in no time. And all we use as a fuel source are wood chips that are all throughout the garden, and also branches that we harvested from some of the trees out here. So it's very easy to operate. I think this is a vital tool for anybody who's into homesteading, self-sufficiency. And so if you are interested in learning more about the rocket stove, this was made by Stove Tech, and I'll drop a link below this video in the description box to where we got it over at Amazon. And one last step is just to wash off the greens and the flowers. All right, so there's one final step here that I wasn't aware of in order to prepare these flowers for eating, and that is Alice is removing the center part of the flower known as the stamen. And why are you removing those, honey?
Just mainly because the texture is not present.
So the texture apparently is not very good on those. I wouldn't know. I've never eaten one that I'm aware of. So, okay. So to get the fire going, it's pretty simple. You just need to light up a piece of newspaper, or packaging paper in this case. Adding a bit of avocado oil. Avocado oil has a very high heat tolerance, 500 degrees Fahrenheit, so it doesn't burn very easily, which is good because this can get really hot. Alright, the pan's hot, so in goes the garlic.
I want this first so it smells good. So now you can smell good, huh?
Yeah, so that pan got hot in like 30 seconds. It was ready to go.
Okay.
Next, you're going to throw in the onions here. Had a juice earlier today. This is a juice pulp. Birds. And some healthy eating birds there. You like that, don't you, ladies? So Alice intentionally only added just a little bit of oil, trying to keep it clean. And if you continually feed the rocket stove and keep that flame going nice and strong, there's virtually no smoke whatsoever coming from this unit. Another great thing about cooking with the rocket stove. So the next thing going in is the oppo, and Alice just gave that a quick rinse as well, so there's a little bit of water on there. We're probably making the neighbors pretty hungry right now.
Yeah, you smell good. You smell it?
Yep. Now she's just adding in a bit of Himalayan salt. And I believe she'll be adding a bit more salt a little later on as things progress. Is that right, honey?
Yeah, because this one is gonna having soup.
So it's better to undersalt than to oversalt in the beginning. You can always add salt later. And to expedite the cooking, I'm also just placing a lid on top just to help trap that steam in.
I'm hungry.
Cheers, honey.
Oh, I like it. Where did you get that, Art? Dad bring here?
My friend brought it over. So those of you who might be wondering, I did complete 60 days raw vegan. There was just one day where I had a guest come over and I veered off of that diet a little bit. But at this point, we're just enjoying the evening. I'm going with the flow. We've got some family over right now and I've been preparing food for them. I'm still very high raw and have been eating vegan, but I'm gonna go ahead and eat some of this dish that my wife's making with love tonight. And that's just the way I roll, you know? So thank you all for continually showing support and following us along on our journey. Just want to continue to keep it real for you guys and share with you how we do things around here. Well guys, you know, this is what it's all about. It's a beautiful evening. We're out in the garden, we're harvesting, we're preparing a healthy meal, just being together, hanging with loved ones. We got the pets all around us, and we're just happy to have you guys with us as well. Isn't that right, honey?
Yes.
So thank you once again for staying with us on this channel, for subscribing, hitting that like button, and many more videos to come.
Thank you. You know, it's having juice, you know, the soup. I wanna put little bit. Some of it they're not putting the.
He's just adding a little bit of water.
Yeah.
It's like about a quarter of a cup maybe. So now Alice is about to add in the sardines. How do you know that the oppo is cooked and ready for the final ingredients?
If it is almost done, you could tell.
So it's soft?
Yes, a little bit like soft. And then I have.
Okay, so I'd say that took about 20 minutes maybe, 15-20 minutes. All right. So here goes the can of 555 sardines and tomato sauce.
So very tasty. I prefer to put the sardines than beef, ground beef or ground pork. And then you have to wait a little bit. I want to try to taste.
So now the chef is gonna give it a taster. Sarap?
Yes. Delicious, masarap.
Masarap means very delicious in Tagalog.
So,
We're going to be now adding in the greens and the flowers of the squash plant.
there's more. The final.
Yep, the final ingredients have now entered the wok. So now that the greens have steamed up a bit, it's It's easier to mix into the rest of the dish. Alright, so Alice says it's ready. So once we added in the flowers and then the greens, it was only a few more minutes, about 3-5 minutes, and we're ready to go here.
Smell good.
So we're going to top this over rice, or put it on the side of rice, however you like it. So follow us on into the kitchen. Here it is, all plated up now. We just put it over a little bit of brown rice. Thank you, dear.
You're welcome, Heart.
I'm a lucky man, I know. Let me give this a try for you guys. That's really good, honey. Thank you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good evening. We'll be talking to you again real soon. Take care.